A garage, a 3-car is really ideal because again, we're gonna hope to convert this garage into living space. So having a 3-car minimum can be great, and then that adds on a lot to that square footage. Hello, I'm Lindsay with REL Optimized. Okay, today we're gonna dive in a little bit to location and the home and really like the demographics and what you're wanting to be looking for when you're considering doing a residential assisted living. So first and foremost, you need to narrow down your area. If you just say, hey, I wanna do a residential assisted living, and then you're going out and you're looking on this like 3-hour radius, that's not gonna really work. So first and foremost, you need to narrow that down. I really recommend being within 1 hour of where you live. And why is that? Well, when you're first starting out, you're gonna be spending a lot more time there. You're gonna wanna be always checking up on things, be popping in, and as you grow, you're gonna wanna be able to be accessible to those locations. So I would narrow that down to a 1-hour radius of where you live, whatever that mileage looks like. Secondly, then, I would start diving in more specifically to that location. And with that location, with the demographics, you're gonna wanna know about like where these are really needed, right? So that means like average income of an area, check into that. You're gonna also wanna know about like the average age of people in that area. And you can dive a whole lot more into those kind of demographics. And really, I also really recommend wherever there's a bigger box facility, you know that they have done extensive market research. So if there's a bigger box facility, anywhere where one of those is at is probably gonna do really great for you to put up a smaller residential assisted living. Some other things with the location is being nearby highways and cities. I'm not saying being within a city, but being nearby. Because think about it, if you're really advertising and you're really promoting to the families, to those daughter Sallys of the world, that's gonna be bringing mom to you, she's gonna wanna easily be able to get there to see mom. So if it's easily accessible from the highway or from where she might be working, then that's gonna be really beneficial for the families. So location is really great to be within nearby highways, hospitals nearby, cities. Yeah, all those things are really helpful. Again, you're really promoting this to a daughter Sally and where she can easily get to see mom at your location. Other things that are nearby that are really beneficial are when there's SNFs or a skilled nursing facility, also known as like a rehab facility. Obviously the hospitals for your residents that need to go there, also if they're getting discharged coming to you, but those rehab facilities, oftentimes they're gonna be getting discharged from there and coming to you, so you need to be in proximity to those as well. So those are all really great things to take a look at, just kind of a high level to kind of zone in on where you wanna be. All right, from there, then you need to start looking at a house. So if you're reaching out to a realtor, which I really recommend, reach out to a commercial realtor and to a residential realtor. Let's first talk about the residential realtor. And when you're talking to them, they're gonna say, well, what are your parameters? What are you really looking for within a home? You're gonna say, first, I wanna look for about 2,400 square feet within a home. And mind you too, this is if we're talking about doing a conversion on a home. So if you're going into a home, you're gonna make some modifications on it to accommodate residential assisted living. And we're really shooting for a minimum of 8, really 10 residents within a home as well. So that's why we're gonna set all these kind of parameters when we're talking with a realtor. So minimum of 2,400 square feet, a garage, a 3-car is really ideal because again, we're gonna hope to convert this garage into living space. So having a 3-car minimum can be great, and then that adds on a lot to that square footage. A basement, not a must, but is really nice. I know lots of parts of the country don't have basements, so disregard that if that's one of your locations, but a basement can be really great. 1, if we could end up using that for square footage for the whole residential assisted living home, or 2, just extra storage, or potentially a place for a live-in caregiver to be as well. Also land. I mean, if you are sitting on a 1/4 acre lot, that could work, right? Potentially. But if you're looking for eventually to do an addition onto the home, or you're needing more parking, that kind of thing, that could bottleneck you a little bit. So having a little bit more space, I really request for 1 acre plus, but that is that's not always necessary. You could be on a half acre, you could be on a normal size lot as well. But I'm starting with this, and then you can always change that, right? If you're not finding anything what you're looking for. Other things that I request when I'm setting these parameters would be a ranch. A rambler is really great, but when they're setting those in, a ranch is definitely ideal. Open floor plan. When you're looking through the home, then when you're like going through the MLS and seeing all these different listings, open floor plan is great. But again, you can easily bust out some walls and make that into an open floor plan. But higher ceilings, big open floor plan is really great when you walk into that. Other things are just good condition. You could get into one of these homes that is not in great condition, and that's definitely like a fixer-upper, and you can totally make that work. So I'm not saying it can't, but ideally, you want a home that is in good condition that you can just go in and make some easy renovations on to get open more quickly. So with good condition, I mean, if you brought an inspector in to look at this home, that there's not going to be major foundation issues, roof leaks, mold, anything really structural that is going to become a problem. More cosmetic, that's where we really want to be. Adding walls, adding rooms, things of that sort is really great. But structural issues, really big things like that, not so great. Let's steer away from that. There's tons of properties out there, tons of different ways we can make this work for you and your location. So we don't need to be grasping at straws kind of thing to make this work for your home. Okay, there's some other perks that we're gonna be looking for in this property as well. Some of those perks, definitely curb appeal. Yes, you can always go in and add great landscaping and whatnot, but when you're just pulling up to the home, or if you're looking at it on Google and you do the 360 and you can see what else is around it, that curb appeal is huge. If other homes around it look really nice and you feel good just driving up to it and you're like, oh, I feel like mom could be here or I could live here, that is great. That is what you want. You don't want people pulling up and immediately being like, ooh, this might not feel good to me. This might not be where I want mom. Curb appeal is huge. HOA. Again, HOAs potentially could work for this, but when they're not in an HOA, that's even better. So when the realtor's talking to you about this, you can tell them that. Say, ideally I would like to not be in an HOA. It's just one less hurdle to go over, but you might find a really great home that isn't an HOA and in your state and everything that it works. So, that's something to consider, but a perk is when it's not in an HOA. Another thing to consider as just a perk is when it's public water and public sewer. Remember, most of the time you're gonna have to get a fire suppression system in these homes. So when you're dealing with public water and public sewer, a lot of that's just a whole lot easier to get to accommodate the fire suppression system and the needed water pressure in your home and everything else that you're gonna be going through with that. So that is a huge perk as well. All right, so hope that this is helpful to get your mind around a little bit on what is ideal when you're going out and looking for a home that you could use for a conversion for residential assisted living. All right, good luck. Hope this helps. Have a great day.